Hello guys, welcome to the video. So today I'm going to be talking about First Man's video that he did entitled the Steroid Conspiracy, whatever it's titled, and how I just think he's really wrong on this one, and actually the message he's peddling here is actually very dangerous. Look, disclaimer, I'm a big fan of First Man. I've been a huge fan of his content for a long time. I think he's right, 9 times out of 10 I agree with everything he's going to say. And he was a big inspiration for me starting my channel as well. But I watched this video a few weeks ago and I just felt, yeah, he was really off on it. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous what he's saying. He's got a lot of young, impressionable people following him, listening to him. And I really didn't like it. So anyway, I'm going to show you some clips here of his video and what his thoughts. And then I'm going to let you know what I think.
Right, and people go, well, there's long-term effects, there's long-term health effects, and I look at somebody like The Rock, and I'm like, yeah, he could have a heart attack at 60, fair enough. But he's had an amazing life, right? And I don't really see the negatives of, like, The Rock's life. Like, he's got all that money, so he's able to get probably, like, some custom formula, gets his blood work done, private healthcare, and all this stuff, right? I understand it, the average person can't do that. But you look at Chris Hemsworth, probably Mikethurston, let's be honest, right? Everybody in the comments will be like, of course Mikethurston, right? But without knowing for definite, I just feel like it's harsh to say. You've got all these people on YouTube who take steroids and they've built careers off of it. They've got millions of subscribers. They've got their own fitness plans and whatever diet plans people are buying them. Like, a lot of these people get on like Love Island and whatever, and they build a career off of it. And the point I'm making, guys, is out of people I know, like locally, people I know on a smaller scale, and then people I don't know who are on a grand scale, like A-list celebrities and athletes, it's like their lives are fucking amazing from taking steroids. Like Chris Hemsworth, Hugh Jackman, they went from like skinny normal guys to like A-list celebrities.
Yeah, so he's giving the example of The Rock, Mikethurston, Chris Hemsworth, etc. And there's a couple of things going on. Look, firstly, there's like survivorship bias here. They're the one guy. These are the guys that make it through to the end. Whilst if you see, a trail of bodies behind them that just never made it. And for every guy who takes steroids and their life is amazing because of it, there's thousands of other guys who can't get there, don't get to that level, and they've just fucked up their health for little to no gain. For what? Maybe they've got a bit more female attention, but if you're taking steroids and you think it's worth it to fuck up your long-term health for a bit more female attention, well, you're an idiot. It's as simple as that. I'm sure there's some people that are going to be like, yeah, that's worth it. I just think, well, like I said, you're an idiot. So I don't think you can give these examples. They're one in a million. Like, 1 in a million people whose lives are going to be transformed and are going to live dream lives. And you're going to have thousands and thousands of others who are just, it's not going to happen for them. And they're just putting their health at risk and end up in an early grave. So I don't think you can use that as a legitimate reason for taking steroids or promoting it and pushing this message just because of literally a handful of people that improve their lives. I think that's a really silly point to make.
Just like, well, hang on a minute. Why, is this some conspiracy? Because we know that the government doesn't, or the governments of the world, or the powers that be, don't want men to be masculine. Which, okay, let me explain that. Like, if you're a little bit, if you're off, if your testosterone's low and you're off and you're not thinking like a man, you're thinking more like a woman, you're going to consume more, you're going to purchase more, you're going to have more problems, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be thinking about what you really should be thinking about less. Okay, if your testosterone's high and you're motivated and you don't have any problems because you're in shape and healthy and your dick works and you're getting women, you might be like, okay, let's focus on success, let's focus on having a good life. You're not going to be too worried about buying like Rogaine and stuff like this, or you're not going to be too worried about, sitting at home with a Ben & Jerry's ice cream and watching something on Netflix. You're going to be like, I want to get outside and fuck women. I want to travel the world. I want to go and do cool shit. I want to meet my friends and hang out. I'm happy. I'm focused on making money and I want to rise to the top. I've got energy. I've got, drive and motivation. Whereas if your testosterone's low and you just feel like a flaccid dick, well, you're going to sit there, aren't you? And you're going to be like, oh, not today. I don't know, I just want to sit at home, smoke weed, eat some pizza, play video games. I'm just not feeling it. No women like me, and I feel bad about myself. That's a great situation for you to be in terms of a consumer point of view. You're going to buy shit. You're going to buy more products.
So obviously he's taken the notion that steroids are bad for you, and he's extrapolated that out to be that there's this conspiracy about steroids, and then they're bad for you, and they're really not. Okay, and that's ridiculous. It's like saying, like, you know, like smoking, for example, right? Smoking is really cool. It looks really cool. It does. It makes people look cooler to a large degree. And, you know, the science around it is smoking is really bad for you, but that's a conspiracy, so you don't look really cool. It's like, no, the reason why smoking is bad for you is because the science is so nailed on this. Like, it's done. It's so clear. And it's the same for steroids. And the science is done on this. It's so clear. It doesn't matter how much you take. You do a mini cycle or whatever, a micro dose, this and whatnot, and do it a little bit. There's no healthy amount of steroids that you can take. Yeah, there's no healthy amount of McDonald's that you can eat. There's no healthy amount of cigarettes. You smoke 1 cigarette a day. That's unhealthy. That's going to lead to problems eventually. And steroids, you take exogenous hormones and you fuck up your natural hormone process that's going on, how your body develops that, etc. And it's going to fuck you up in small ways and in big ways. But you play it off long enough, yeah, it's really going to mess you up. So I get it. I get what he's saying. Like, I definitely agree there is a legitimate campaign against masculinity and to feminize men, and that is because, you know, they want men more like feminine minded, so they become consumers. I completely agree with that, but to trace that back in, to add steroids into the conversation, part of that conspiracy, yeah, it's just, it doesn't hang because the science is so clear on this. It's just so clear. It's just not good for you in any way, shape or form.
And whatnot. And police officer could be like, you need to go over there and do that. I'd be like, fuck off, mate. I'm not doing that. Do you know what I mean? That's what they don't want. That's never worked throughout history.
Yeah, all right. I'm pretty sure you were going ahead with lockdown and staying in your house during COVID as well. So, yeah, okay, sure.
To take something like TRT, which would put your testosterone levels back to normal, and it's, oh no, suddenly the risks, no, it's awful, this could happen to you, this could happen to you. No, the side effects are massive, don't do it, they're terrible for you. And you go, but every single guy I know has got a better life because of them. Right? I don't know what you guys think. I'm not sat here in this video saying to you guys, go and take them. Right now, I'm telling you guys, don't take them. Do 4 or 5 years naturally. Get to a point where you are in your like late 20s, early 30s, so that if you did take something like TRT, then it would be justified. But at the same time, it's like, I don't really know anybody who's had any negatives from it. Like, people who absolutely abuse their body, Mr. Olympias, yeah, they have some negatives. But the average guy who just, like, takes a decent dose, gets their blood work monitored, consults doctors, did it all properly, you know, lives well, whatever, they seem to be fucking happy, healthy, in shape, you know, everything's better than it was, they look better, they're getting more women, they look jacked as fuck, they look like the alphas of society, and you go, what, like, why am I pissing around? Like, why am I not taking this shit? It looks like a super serum with 0 side effects, but all we ever get told is it's bad for you, there's massive side effects, but where's the evidence for that? Because I think something like 99 out of 100 guys seem to be fine, as long as they don't take the serious shit.
So this is where his message really starts going off at the deep end. Firstly, he's saying, like, you know, I'm not saying take it, I'm saying don't take it, but you know, it's fine if you do this and you get your blood work done and so on. This is where he should be a little bit more wise, okay, in this message, with regard to this message. He knows a large chunk of his audience is young men, like young 20s, teenagers. These are incredibly impressionable men, all right? And if he sat there saying, there's no side effects to this, as long as you do this properly, there's no problem. It doesn't matter what you said. It doesn't matter that you said, I'm not saying take it. In fact, I'm saying don't take it. They're going to be sitting there listening to this going, yeah, you know what, Kris is right. There's no problem with this. I'm going to be careful and I'm going to do this well and there's not going to be no problems and it's all benefits, all pros and no cons. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then he goes on and says there's nothing wrong with it, you can be healthy and everything. Firstly, you can get your testosterone up naturally. You should absolutely just focus on that and optimize yourself in that way. And secondly, it is dangerous. There's, like I said before, there's so much research done on this. No matter how much you take, okay, over a certain period of time, you're going to have side effects, you're going to have problems leading down the line. You know, it's not like these guys are going to, and here's the other thing about these young impressionable lads, it's not like they're going to say, you know what, I'm just going to microcycle, microdose and all this, and I'll do it a little bit and go on the cycle, come off, and that's fine and everything. Okay, when you gain on a cycle, once you stop, you lose those gains. So there's very few people that will lose the gains that they have from doing those steroids and will be okay with it and just be like, you know what, I've done my cycle, I've done my bit, I'm not going back to that. They'd find it very hard to deal with that psychologically. So what's going to happen in most of these cases, and what does happen in most of these cases, is these guys start the steroids, they think, you know what, I'm going to do small amounts here and there. And they either just continue because they don't want to lose gains, or this is probably the most common, is they're like, you know what, I feel like I plateaued a little bit, I can get even bigger. Let me take a little bit more, just a little bit. Let me take a little bit of that, a little bit of this. And it just snowballs until you end up with an absolute disaster and someone dies, you know, in mid-20s from a heart attack. You're like, what the fuck? So I just think what he's saying here is so dangerous and really irresponsible, because he knows his audience and he knows what he's saying here.
You know, there's some crazy back acne, you know, some people have heart attacks and whatnot.
Yeah, you know, some people die of a heart attack, it's fine. Yeah, it's nothing, it's cool.
But for somebody like Mikethurston, who, again, like, I don't know if he's on it, but I expect he probably is, as most people do, you just take a little, you know, maybe microdoses, or maybe he's just done it at 2-3 different points in his life, and now he's absolutely mega jacked, and now he microdoses. His life's amazing. He's always got energy, he's always traveling, he's making money, people look at him, they're like, that's the perfect body, he's getting women, he looks incredible, he's energetic, and it means that he's making money, because he's probably, like, testosterone makes you more competitive, makes you want to hustle more, do you know what I mean? It makes you want to make more money. It's probably a catalyst as to why he's where he's at in his life now, and you go, well, hang on a minute, why am I being told not to do this when everybody I know has got a better life because of it?
Yeah, look, when you see someone like Mikethurston and his life and what he's created for himself and the success that he's had, of course, that's going to be tempting for a lot of people to do it, to use it, right? And it's given him the life that he has. It's amazing. But like Kris is saying, you know, he's probably microdosing, he's probably doing it, and he's been doing it for years. What's going to happen? Eventually, he's going to run into some serious problems, because he has to keep that up now. Mike is there, he's like at the head of this thing, you know, and a huge name in the industry. He can't just decide, you know what, I'm coming off the roids. He's going to lose all his gains. People are going to see through, all the gullible people will see through that shit, lose respect for him, so off, and that's it. It'll go off into obscurity. So Mike's got to do this for a long time, and he obviously already has for a number of years. He's going to run into serious problems. Cancer, you know, fuck knows, heart attack, whatever, at 40, at 50. And then it begs the question, like, okay, if I could get to 50 but live this amazing life, it's better than living an average life to 80, 90. You know, that's for an individual to decide. But let's not sit here and don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Okay, and let's not sit here and say, listen, you can be healthy on this shit, because you can't, especially if you're doing it for many, many years, like someone like Mikethurston is. It's just ridiculous thinking, really.
I said a shorter video, I don't think it is, guys, but well, it's kind of shorter. But I don't know what you guys' thoughts are. I mean, I'm going to get people on the podcast to discuss this steroid conspiracy, and I'll probably do a documentary on this for the streaming platform. But I don't know what you guys think. I just think it's a bit crazy that like, we're told so much about the negatives and don't do this, but every guy who's on it is like, I feel fucking great, it's the best thing I've ever done. Like 50-year-olds, 20-year-olds, whatever. So let me know your thoughts, guys. I don't know what you think, but I'm not promoting anybody to fucking fly in my face. Do you see that? I'm not promoting anybody to go and do it. I'm just saying, like, what do you guys think? Because it's definitely worth raising the question, because what I'm seeing compared to what's being said are two completely different fucking things.
Well, this is what I think of it, and I know if you actually go on that video that he's made, you look through the comments, there's a lot of people that agree with me. It's actually the only video I found on Chris's channel that the majority of comments are disagreeing with him on his video topic. And at the end of the day, yeah, maybe he is seeing and knows people that their lives are better for it, and he's making examples of The Rock and so on. But let's play this out long enough. That's the other thing, you know. Mikethurston's 30, he's 29. You know, a lot of these people he says his friends and that they're young. You play this out long enough, and we've seen it. We see it with bodybuilders. How many bodybuilders that die super young? You know, suddenly it's sad. If you play it out long enough, these people are going to have really, really big problems. And yeah, you just see it all the time. And over a long enough time period, shit's going to go down. And then the question is, was it all worth it? Do you know what I mean? Maybe for some it is. Who knows? If you want to end up in a fucking wheelchair like Ronnie Coleman, you can barely walk, and you want a heart attack at 23 years of age like Ziz, but you live a great few years in your early 20s and you party like mad and create this following. I don't know, maybe it's worth it to you. I just think it's that's fine. That's your opinion. That's your preference on life, how you want to live life, how you view life. But let's not be around the bush. Let's not joke around about this and pull the wool over people's eyes here. Steroids are bad for you. And it's a very, very slippery slope. Very, very few people are going to actually come away with incredible lives from using it. So it's just, yeah, that's all I think. I hope Kris sees this, and I hope people that watched his video and were maybe thinking about it, like thinking and agreeing with Kris, like, you know what, yeah, it's not so bad, I can take it. I hope they see this and change their minds, you know, and look into it yourselves, guys. Honestly, don't take my word for it. Definitely don't take Chris's word for it. Look into it yourself. If you really spend enough time on it, you'll find that, yeah, there is no healthy amount that you can take, and that you'll end up with problems, and you become really reliant on that shit. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, I'm really interested to hear what you think, so get commenting on Chris's video, on my thoughts and everything else. I'll reply to every single one of you. Guys, join me for the next video and embrace the struggle.